What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Starting off this one at home today. Hopefully by the end of this video, I should be able to be driving the 14 for the first time. So excited. Got my brake caliper fixed, got that back, got a new seal kit for it, so I've got to chuck that back on. But first what I've got to do is I've got to rub the front brakes of the other S14, which I've rolled out of the garage here. So about to jack it up, take the wheels off, and then take the calipers and discs off. I'm going to be running these on a track car. So I've come down to the workshop and robbed the brakes off the other S14. We've got them here and they're pretty much ready to throw back onto this. I sorted out my rear caliper, so shout out to my flatmate for fixing this for me. I used a banjo bolt that was too short to try and put these on originally, and it stripped all the threads out in here. So yeah, again, thank you to my flatmate Dylan for sorting that out for me. So I've just rebuilt this thing with new seals and stuff. I didn't film it, I should have. I forgot to because I'm a retard. But I'm gonna chuck this back on the car, and then, like I said at the start of the video, we should be able to take this thing for a rip. Right, so it's week on from what you guys just saw. Got all the front brakes on, looking good. Not really, they look like shit. I should have painted them, but I just want to get this thing done. Got the brake caliper on and brake lines in. I got new banjo bolts and I cut them to the right length. And we also took the little like olivey thing that's in these at the back. That like, I'm stuck, Mike, help me.
Oh yeah, you've got to have it up.
Yeah, I'm so out of touch with filming. It's like a little thing where the regular line goes on, but because I'm using a different setup with banjo bolts and shit, you take that out, done that. Got my other caliper here, about to put that back on, and then Mike is gonna help me bleed the brakes. Then I'm gonna chuck a seat in. I also wanna chuck my dash in. And then we're gonna take this thing for a drive for the first time. Go wake up the neighborhood, even though it's like midday. So we got the brakes all bleeded up. We had to bleed the master up here first, and then you start over in that corner and work the way up front, and everything seems to be good. About to start her up, and then we're gonna take it for a first drive. Thank you for helping me bleed the brakes.
No problem. I'm just glad it actually worked this time. The clutch wasn't so successful.
Yeah, Mike helped me bleed the clutch from that thing when the master was not good.
Yeah, you could tell it wasn't even, and it didn't pump up properly.
You're just going to yeet it off the axle stands, eh? You're just going to yeet it off the axle stands?
Alright, here we go. Alright, so that's my fault. I don't have bonnet pins on this thing yet, and I was just way too excited and eager to drive this thing that I was actually intending on zip tying it down. But yeah, like I said, I was just too excited to drive this thing, I just slipped my mind. It was very fucking stupid error on my part, bonnet stuffed, but yeah, I'll try and find another one, actually try and find a fiberglass one, maybe with a bit of a raise at the back to help the hot air escape as well. So yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, and hopefully Mitchell can paint it for me. Good thing about this colour is it's real basic in terms of like having to spray parts after the fact. You don't have to spray it all in one go for it to look the same. Alright, round 2. So it's the following day now. I've been here at the workshop for the past few hours for myself, just going over all the interior in this thing, because as you guys would have seen earlier in the video, the interior was an absolute mess. I wasn't sure if I was going to film it or not, because I know it's quite sort of like tedious. I had to have the dash in and out like 4 or 5 times, and I just wanted to get it done, but here it is. This is what the interior looks like now. It's taken all the wiring rubbish and stuff out. This actually is the steering wheel and quick release. It's a quick release hub. If I can grab it properly. Grab that off Patchit, because he's parted out his Zafiro. It's looking pretty sad in the back corner over there. I also adjusted the handbrake. I had to actually flip this bracket to the right way. There's like a little sort of like cut in there that was on the top, which meant the handbrake had to sit further back, so I flipped that, so now the handbrake's a little bit forward, which meant I was able to adjust the seat forward, because yesterday when I took it for a drive, reaching the pedals was quite difficult where the seat was. So the seat's now forward, and I've also moved it over a little bit, and yeah, got the dash in, switch panel was mounted, and I also mounted the fuse box back there and the ECU. So I kind of want to get something to cover up that, and I also want to get some door cards made, but that's not going to happen anytime soon at least. But yeah, this looks so much better. Rocking the no hood, because my dumb ass, well, you already know the story behind that. So with the seat now moved forward, I'm going to take this around the block and sort of just see how it feels with steering wheel placement, handbrake placement, feet where my pedals are. So yeah, we'll take it for another drive. Now it's in. Yeah, see, already just pushing the clutch in feels so much better. All the clunking and juddering is because the subframe is solidly mounted. You guys know that we put solid subframe bushes and solid diff bushes in. So when the whole rear end's solid like that, it's a bit clunky. Right, so it's the next night now. I have no idea how many days this video is now strung across, but I will wrap it up here. I am so happy. I have been building this car for pretty much 2 years at this point. I think it's like around this time 2 years ago that I picked this car up, and it's come a long way. I brought this thing as a crashed bare shell and turned it into what it is today. I'm no mechanic by any means, but to be honest, I'm fucking proud of how far I've been able to get this car to come. And I've had some help by some great people along the way, but I mean, like the hood coming up earlier in the video, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way and I've learned from those mistakes. And honestly guys, that's what about working on cars is all about, is getting in, having fun, making those mistakes and learning from them. Still need to obviously sort out this whole situation, headlight brackets, and now I need to get a sort of new hood, but I'm really happy with how the interior's come out. It's pretty good. I need to get a plate or something made up so I can cover that, and ideally I'd like to do the same thing for here as well, but this is actually good because I've mounted my fuse panel back there, so if anything blows I can just reach through nice and easily and grab it. So in the last video when I got this dynoed, I put out a little comp for you guys to win a sticker for the first person to correctly guess what the S14 made power-wise, and the correct answer goes to Trent Swiggy's, yep, Trent Swiggy's, which you said 360 horsepower. So this thing actually made just shy of 380 horsepower at the hubs, but unfortunately, CAS being pretty old, it was scattering a bit, and we were sort of pushing the injectors pretty far at 380. So Jeff dialed it back a little bit and it ended up making 358 horsepower at the hubs. So 350 horsepower is by no means a lot of power at all, but it'll be more than enough for the rest of the year, and just so I can get out there, get on track and have some fun. I mean, you guys saw it earlier in the clip as well. This thing boogies. Second gear, it just lights up the wheels like nothing, and the rear end ratio on this is still shit, still like a 3.7 or something. So with a 4.1 or a 4.3, she's gonna be even happier. The cool thing that I have noticed as well is this turbo is like perfectly set up for this motor with the VCT. It's not laggy at all, it's super responsive, and like I said, 350 horsepower isn't a ridiculous amount, but it's still going to be more than enough to have a shitload of fun, and I'm still going to be able to chase pretty hard in this thing, I reckon. It's honestly just going to come down to my driving really, of not being a bitch and putting my foot up it. But yeah, that'll be it for this one guys. There isn't too much more that needs to be done on this. It is going to Robbie end of next week to get the last of the fab work done. This weekend I'm hoping to sort out the power steering lines, but yeah, once it goes to Robbie and gets the last of the fab work done, that's it. There's nothing else to be done after that. This is gonna be ready for the track. The week that I get it back, well, the weekend that I get it back, there is a drift school on at Rapuna. Have a go day might be a little bit more ideal, but this drift school happens to fall on a Saturday, which means I won't have to take a day off work, and it's a whole day as well, which is good. So we can get out there in the morning, do a couple laps, and if there's any issues or whatever, still got plenty of time to be able to sort them and then get back out on track. So depending on how the fab work and stuff goes, a couple weeks, might be able to take this thing to the track. So definitely gonna bring you guys along for that trip. So yeah, stay tuned, it's not far now.